Infamous, you should be evil, right?
Get out!
Bitch, you get out.
Get out!
I'm gonna go.
You see, sometimes I'm good. Oh, I'm very good. But sometimes I'm bad. But only as bad as I want to be. Freedom is power. To live a life untamed and unafraid is the gift that I've been given. And so, my journey begins. Woo!
Activation plus 6 minutes. Pulse is 45. Respiration 10. Looking good, Cole.
The hell happened? Oh, God.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry. Here at the Everything Anime Podcast, we talk about everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and a relevant topic we feel like talking about. Today's video is on Infamous and should you be evil? So I've got a couple thoughts on this. I've got notes, I've got story I want to talk about, the villains, the abilities, and things like that. Before any of that, I want to put out there as a disclaimer, this gameplay of Infamous as well as Infamous Festival of Blood is not mine. The reason why is because this game, even though it's from 2009, it was like one of the best sellers on PlayStation, has not got a remastered. So the only way to play it is to stream it on PSN. The problem with that is you can't record games that you're streaming. And even if you try, like the stream gets all blurry. Like I mentioned in Festival of Blood, like 1 minute, like it's like a clear picture, and the next is super grainy because I bought a Vivitar separately, attached it to my PS5, connected it to my laptop, and I was able to record that way. But then whenever like I would try to record it, it seemed like it made the game even slower. And so I wasn't going to use any of my own gameplay. So this is gameplay that I found on YouTube. I will credit the people that own it. As well, as for Sony themselves, at this point, because you remastered Dishonored, you remastered Prototype 1 and 2, why was there no Infamous remastered? I mean, I know we got Infamous Second Son, which I will be going into in this video, but that's not what anybody wanted. I would have took an Infamous 1, 2 with the fucking Festival of Blood collection. Or even at this point, add all the Infamous games, because they're like 5 or 6. That'd be worth $60, having all those Infamous games in one collection. Sony, make it happen. Or give me Infamous 3. Okay, so the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm kind of in my villain phase. I did Prototype, which is like an antagonist, protagonist, or I guess it'd be like a anti-hero, and then Infamous, you can be a hero, but you're more supposed to be an anti-hero. The reason why I say that is because the reason we never got Infamous 3 is because in the ending of Infamous 2, if you play hero, Cole will die. but he'll save the city. But if you play villain, all the humans will die, but the convicts will live, and you still defeat the beast. But the creator of Infamous 3, the way that Infamous 3 was going to open was that Cole has evil karma and that he's alive. So if you chose the good ending where Cole died, there could be no Infamous 3. And we would have still got it, except the fact that, like, you know how you can see what people played? There was more people that played hero than there was people that played villain. So he's like, it would make sense, like, for people that played heroic the whole time to, like myself in my original 2 playthroughs, to go in Infamous 3, have evil karma, and, like, your best friend Zeke killed, because, yeah, Zeke has to die in that game. And so, I thought it was, oh my god, this chair is so creepy. I hope that's not too loud in the video. But anyways, so I thought it was interesting to do it from the writer or author of this game's perspective, to play evil all the way through. I'll probably do Infamous 2 as well, all the way evil all the way through, and see, like, what would happen if I did that. And so someone that played the original hero version all the way through, like, always made the karmic hero choices. Okay, so let me explain that. Let's explain the, what should I call this? The battle system? No, we'll call this the karma system. So there's 2 ways to play, and you can play both ways, but I'm going to tell you why you should only play one way. So, the first choice we have to make is about these boxes, and I'll try to about this creative food that's landed, and I'll explain the story about Cole, how you get the powers later, but let me just talk about the karma choices. But the first choice you make that automatically sets you off on the hero path or the infamous path is, like, this creative food falls down onto the city, and you can either share the food with everybody, like split it, or you can keep the food for yourself because you don't know how long you're going to be in quarantine, or quarantine. So you either don't shock people and you instantly good karma, you share the food, your friend Zeke's happy, your friend Trish, your ex-girlfriend Trish is happy that you shared the food, or you can immediately be selfish, shock any random person or several people, and Trish will get mad at you and Zeke will be disappointed in you. Trish is Cole's girlfriend, and then Zeke is Cole's best friend. I'll get into more about them in a second. But that's your first karmic choice.
A lot of food here. Enough to feed the 3 of us for weeks, maybe longer. But if I fry a couple people in the crowd, the rest will run away. The food will be all ours, but some of these guys might starve. Easy.
Man, that was harsh. Still, it'll keep us in victuals for a long time. I'll get this hauled out of here pronto.
Hey, Trish.
What's wrong with you? People are starving, and you're stealing the only food they've seen in days?
I did it for us. To make sure we're taken care of.
I don't get you sometimes.
First evil choice. But there's a good option too.
A lot of food here. Enough to feed the 3 of us for weeks, maybe longer. But if I fry a couple people in the crowd, the rest will run away. The food will be all ours, but some of these guys might starve.
I got one open. Let's eat.
Hey, Trish.
Oh, I'm so glad you got the food down. These poor people are starving.
Just doing what I can. Someone had to help them.
Those idiots dropped us canned prunes. Now who the hell want to eat this crap?
Now, throughout the game, there are karmic choices. I'll play some of those throughout the game that I feel are the most important or, like, most impactful. Especially the two major ones that'll change your karma instantly. And when I'll explain that when I get there too. So, throughout the game, you have karmic choices where, like, let me look at my list of karmic choices real fast. I'm gonna try to choose some like basic ones. All right, so the second one you face is like you're trying to escape the city, and there's like there's rioters and there's police, and no one's like doing anything yet. The police are blocking the way out, and the rioters are in front. If you step out in front of the rioters and attack the police, you'll be seen as a hero because you're taking the fall for like being the one to attack, or you're being the voice of the people. But if you attack within the crowd, they think that the rioters are attacking and everybody gets involved. Like the police are just attacking random people, and the people fight back.
You have entered a restricted area. Lethal force may be used at any time. Please return to your homes. You will be notified when the quarantine has been lifted.
Gonna have to get past those riot cops if we want out of here. If I fry a couple of the guards from inside the crowd, but I can trigger a riot, help keep the heat off Zeke and me. Of course, that means a lot of innocent people will get the hell kicked out of them.
Please, let me out of here. I didn't do anything wrong.
Let's take them down.
The evil choice of that one.
You have entered a restricted area. Lethal force may be used.
Gonna have to get past those riot cops if we want out of here. If I fry a couple of the guards from inside the crowd, but I can trigger a riot, help keep the heat off Zeke and me. Of course, that means a lot of innocent people will get the hell kicked out of them.
Please, let me out of here. I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm starving in here.
Get in there before this gets out of control.
And then, so that's the good karma is like going in front of the people and attacking the police. The bad karma is making it seem like a riot started. Another one that's not too big is I'll just do two. Another one that's not too big is like at some point there's this plague around the city, and if you're like turning like 3 valves and getting sprayed with this like plague, and it like messes with your mind because again I'll get into the story more about it, but like this woman named Sasha, it's like her conduit powers, it's like splashed over you. So you like hearing her in your head. And so you get to this third valve, and it's like you either turn the valve, spray yourself, the good karma, or you blast the valve, unleashing plague onto the city and making other people sick. And that's the evil karma. Well, because we're doing evil gameplay, we choose evil karma. But at any moment, you can switch between good and bad karma. The reason why you don't want to do that is because there are only 15 major karmic choices and 15 major good choices. And those unlock, like, I think it's like your most powerful lightning blast, I think. It's called lightning bolt. I think it's for the lightning bolt. I'll have to double check that. But it's for one of those, and if you do a mix of missions, you won't be able to fully unlock all this evil side of lightning or all this good side of lightning. And it's for that reason why I'm like, you definitely want to choose a side from the beginning and stick with it, at least when it comes to the major choices. Now, later in the game, like I said, there are 2 big choices that'll instantly swap your karmic choices. Like if you played hero the whole time, you make this one choice, you're instantly bad. You've been bad all this time, and you make this one pivotal good choice, you're instantly good. And then towards the end of the game, there's one more final choice that'll swap it again automatically, but one of them will deadlock and it won't change, and we'll get to that when we get there. So some other information about the game: there are NPCs, like people that are walking around, and at any moment they can get like attacked by like reapers, they call them transit men, and sometimes they call them dust men. I'm gonna go with dustmen because it's easier. And so there's reapers, there's dustmen, there are the first sons. At any moment, these people can get gunned down, like these random NPCs. You have a choice to pulse heal them, which is the good karmic choice, good karma. You just shock them with lightning and all their wounds are healed. Or you can do bio leech, which basically absorbs their essence, like you're fighting against them, absorbing their essence, and you kill them, but you heal yourself. That's the evil choice. Or you have a third choice, which I think is called electric restraint, where you like pin them down. You don't want to do that to villains, because pinning random citizens, I don't think it does anything to your karma. It might give you evil karma, I don't know, I didn't really bother with that. But I did do bio leech on the reapers, the dustmen, and the first sons. I did do that, and I pulse healed a few times. It did like, and that was giving me like full evil karma because that's what I wanted. But I would pulse heal a few times just when I felt like it, and my evil karma would go up just a little bit. But it didn't impact my infamous gameplay at all, or like the evil gameplay at all. What are some other things I wanted to say? Oh yeah, throughout the game, there are these random broadcasts. You have two different types. The first is the voice of survival. He's like just like this random citizen inside of the city, inside of Empire City, and he just like tries to tell people how to survive.
Hey, it's a TV jacker. I love this guy.
Just got word that the feds dropped some relief packages into Archer Square. The liars running the corporate media tell us that we're gonna get our fair share, that more is coming. Yeah, that's easy for them to say. They're not the ones living in this hellhole. And the truth is that we've been abandoned, and no one's coming to save us. So head over to Archer Square and get that food before the Reapers show up. Voice of Survival, out.
He also comments on Cole, like what Cole does throughout the game. Like if you're good, he'll like praise Cole, and so the people will praise Cole. But if you do evil karma like me, he convinces the people like, hey, when you see this guy, attack him. And the NPCs will do that. Like that's one thing I like. The NPCs, they shout things at you. Like if you're good, they're like, yeah, hero, you're awesome, we love you, you're amazing, Cole, you're the best. But if you're evil karma like I did on this game through, they're like, you're a monster. They're like, we should kill you. They're like, hey, let's get him. And they'll start attacking you. They'll start throwing rocks. The policemen will gun it. Try to shoot you. So that's like the voice of survival. He's like commenting. He's one of the 3 people that comment on like what you're doing throughout the city. And getting to Trish and Cole, Trish also reacts to that. She's your ex-girlfriend. If you do good karma, even though they've broken up because of a certain reason that we'll get to in a second in the story, she like is kind of like forgiving and like understanding when you do good karma. But when you do bad karma, she's always like, hey, she's like, I'm done with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. I hate you. What they're saying about you is right. You're a monster. And we'll get to that pivotal choice later that changes your whole karma or doesn't, depending on what you plan through, what she thinks about you then. Zeke also has that same thought towards you. Like when you're a hero, Zeke is like, oh, I want to be a hero too. You know, I wish I had powers. So you're Cole, you're an inspiration to people. Yada yada yada. Whereas if you're bad karma, Zeke is like talks like almost like he's afraid of you or like challenging you. He's like Cole, you shouldn't be doing things like this. And Cole's like, who's gonna stop me? So you get these dynamics throughout the game. The other thing that happens is there is points where like you'll see like a news broadcast. This happens randomly throughout the game too. You can stop and watch these, or you can just keep walking past them. I recommend watching them because just kind of helps build the story. But when the news broadcast happen, basically whatever you're doing in the city, whether it's heroic or evil, the news reporter makes it seem like the government's taking all your
Large-scale relief efforts across Empire City continued as FEMA delivered several tons of food, medicine, and other essential supplies into Archer Square. Officials tell US TV that relief efforts will continue around the clock for the foreseeable future. Some observers are already comparing the scale of this operation to the Berlin airlift, which saved that city from communist aggression. Hope is on the way, Empire City.
Glory. Like say for example, there's a part where Cole like lowers a bridge on both sides and he's fighting you have these 2 workers lowering the bridge for you, and Cole is like protecting them while they lower the bridge for you, and you're like charging the bridge. And then later in the game, a news broadcast says, oh, the government came in and help connect the cities because, you know, it was getting crazy out there, yada, yada, yada. Or if you take down all the Reapers, you take down all the Transitmen, you take all the Dustmen in this area. She's like, oh, the government went in and cleared the enemies in this area of Empire City to protect the good people, yada, yada, yada. But it's basically propaganda bullshit, like in Hunger Games. Like, they're trying to make themselves seem like they're the heroes when you're the one actually doing something good. Even though, we're going to get into that later. But when we get to the story. But even though this is all somebody else's fault. But yeah, they will take praise for your deeds. Let me see what else I have in my notes. Oh yeah, so if you die at any moment in the game, you will auto spawn to the closest clinic. If you have saved like any of the medical side missions, there are a bunch of side missions. I recommend doing it. One, because it unlocks other side missions. Two, that's how you're gonna get your powers. Or points to use the upgrade system. There is an upgrade system in this game, just like Prototype. Unlike Prototype, though, it's not as complicated. It kind of like pretty easy, and you can unlock everything if you do all the missions and fight all these bad guys and all that. Save people and whatnot, you can unlock just about everything for you reach the end of the game. And the powers do upgrade to get more powerful and things like that. And we'll go through the powers in a second too. I'll probably go through everything, but before the story, just so you guys can understand everything. But there is if you do all these missions, you'll upgrade your power system pretty fast, and it's pretty easy. One way you get new powers is throughout the game, like the city. Because of like, there was an explosion, there was like this terrorist bombing that like knocked out all the power in the city, and so Cole, who has electricity powers, he's on a lightning conduit or electric conduit, probably both, because he can kind of use lightning, but I think it's more electricity. I don't think it's, because lightning and electricity are kind of two different things, kind of. But he's like an electric conduit, so he can absorb electricity to heal himself. He can also, and there's like this thing. Well, I wanted to get into what powers, but there's like this thing called electric sense, where like you can sense like electricity all around you. It's how you heal yourself. It's how you're gonna get your power back up to use your electric abilities. But basically, throughout the game, you're gonna go find these generators and sewers, and every time you go to a generator, you get like a new power and ability. And like I said, we'll get to that in a second. But basically, that's how you unlock your powers, and then you upgrade them through the upgrade system. Also, your power system is the way that you use your powers and, like, you know, build up your what am I trying to say? You build up your power meter, I guess. I'm trying to think of like different words to say, but like they're like little lightning nodes. So at the shit city, they're called blast shards. They're basically from this thing called the Ray Spear that exploded. And there's like, I think over like 100, there's definitely more than 100, because I collected like a lot. I didn't fully fill up my meter, but they're pretty easy to find. And your lightning sense will detect them too, as well as lightning that you can use to heal yourself. I recommend just grabbing them every time you see them. You don't have to hunt for them. If you do hunt for them, go ahead. In Festival of Blood, I hunted the 100 blood jars. That took forever and was fucking annoying, but it did help towards the end of the game. So, you know, if you can get as many lightning shards as possible, you know, you'll have a lot more powers you can use, and you'll need to charge up less to get your power nodes. I mean, to use your abilities. Let me see what else I have on here. Oh, when you clear an area of missions, I mean, when you clearing missions also clears out the enemies within that area. It'll tell you like 15% of enemies won't show up here, 80% of enemies won't show up here, 100% of enemies won't show up here. Even after you clear it to 100, there will still be enemies because of the story, but they won't show up like just randomly. Like, they'll spawn when they need to, especially for story purposes, but like for a good amount of time, you can just like wander the city without running into enemies, shooting at you, things like that. And these AI are pretty competent, just like in Prototype, where I plays the NPCs and AI for, well, the NPCs AI for like attacking the boss and weakening it, attacking other monsters and weakening it, attacking random citizens and like just taking them down randomly. These AI are competent. If they see you like targeting them, they'll just run and hide, they'll duck, they'll run away. There are several enemy types, which I'll probably get into in just a second. Let me just make sure I'm done with all these other notes. Okay, no, I have one more thing to go through. Okay, no, I have 2 more things to go through. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I said the NPCs make the world feel like lived in and alive because, like I said, like they're sentient to what you do. If you're good karma, like I said, they'll praise you, they'll cheer you on. If you're bad karma, they'll randomly attack you. They'll call you a monster. They'll say like you should die. We should get them, and like they have like this mob mentality, so it's pretty cool. The other thing, the environment. The environment is very chaotic. Your powers can explode cars and people in it. If you explode cars or like environments near enemies, it'll explode and like damage them as well as people around them. That's what the pulse heal is for. Like if random civilians get hurt, you can heal them back up and they'll walk away. You probably saw in the opening theme that you can blow up a gas station, which is pretty cool. The first time I did that, I was like, oh shit, I did not know I could do that. That was pretty cool. And you like burn and kill out every enemy within the area. Let me see. There was one more thing on here I wanted to talk about. Oh, let's talk about there are these collectibles called audio tapes. So one thing that I'm going to mention in the story is that we've teamed up with this lady named Moya to like escape the city. Again, I'll go through all this more in the story part. But we teamed up with this lady named Moya who's looking for her husband, John. And she's like, John infiltrated the First Sons to like investigate what they were up to. And he disappeared on us and we want to find him. If you help me find him, I'll help you get out of the city. So throughout the city, use your electric sense to also track down these, they're called dead drops. It's like John's like leaving like information for like the agency that he works for. Because we never find out which agency Moya or John works for. I'm assuming it's like NSA or government or whatever. They're from 2 different, well, I almost spoiled that. We're not even that story yet. But John works for a particular agency and he's leaving dead drops for them. And you can listen to them. They're kind of interesting. They like build up the story in the world. Like you'll hear things like John saying like how they tortured him, how he had to pretend to be a conduit. And we'll get into that too, what that is. And he's like, he mentions stuff like, Kessler doing experiments. Kessler experimenting on Sasha, who's the leader of the Reapers. Kessler and escaping Kessler. Things like that. Like it helps build up the story and you'll learn more about John and it gives you a reason to trust John because you want to trust me because there's a lot of betrayal in this game, a lot, which I love. Games with betrayal and all that are really good. Let me check my notes if I have anything else before we talk about the abilities, enemies. We'll probably do the enemies type next, or we'll do the abilities and enemy types, then I'll do some major karma. Well, I'll mix up the karma choices throughout the talking about the story. Let me just see if I have anything else to say about this. Nope, looks like we're ready to talk about the story. Make sure. Yep, I think we're ready.
While sliding into unconsciousness, I could somehow, hear the voices of the dying. Thousands crushed by falling buildings or burned alive in the fires. Trish lost her sister, almost lost me. Zeke was always there, somehow sure that I'd wake up, while outside the city fell apart. A plague struck, followed by rioting, theft, rapes, civilization committing suicide. In a bullshit attempt to contain the biological threat, the federal government locked down all access in and out of the city. Now we're stuck in this cage with the psychos. Cops are all but gone off the streets, either dead or too chicken shit to stand against the gangs that control things now. Outside, things were bad. But inside me, something was beginning. Scary as hell at first. You gotta understand, there was no one to talk to, no experts to consult. But with time, I'm learning to control it, master it. Just hope it's not too late.
One thing I forgot to mention is if you are hero karma, your electricity is blue. And if you're evil karma, your electricity is red until the very end. I don't know if hero karma turned a different color, but red definitely surprised me at the very end when I did this evil playthrough. Because as I said, originally when I beat Infamous 1 and 2 and Festival of Blood, I did Hero Karma. So let's talk about the characters that are involved, the protagonists, antagonists, and some side characters, what we know about them. Then we'll get into Cole's abilities, and I'll get into enemy types. So one of the people that we have, well, our main protagonist's name is Cole. It's like an insert yourself character, because all I know about Cole is that he's a courier. He basically rides a bicycle in Empire City, which is where the story takes place. Empire City is split up into 3 sections controlled by 3 different groups. Well, we'll get into that in a second, because that's story-wise. But Empire City is like basically 3 major islands, and Cole is like an insert yourself character, because the choices you make in the game decide if Cole's going to be a hero or Cole's going to be a villain. We also know that Cole has a girlfriend. Her name is Trish, and his best friend is Zeke. They're not blood brothers. They're just like best friends from like a really long time ago. We don't know how long, but we can tell based off their conversations throughout the game. More if you're a hero, how close they are. If you're villainous, there's kind of some like animosity between them, but like, you know, you can still feel their friendship. Then we have Trish. Trish is Cole's girlfriend in this game, or ex-girlfriend, because of an event that happens that I'll mention in the story. But she now has like some resentment against Cole. If you play hero, you will get more loving, more affectionate responses from Trish, or like more caring, more nurturing. If you play evil, as I did in this game, or Infamous, she gets like more negative, more like pushing away, more like I hate you kind of vibes, or like stay away from me kind of sense from her. And then after that, we have Moya, who works for an agency, and her husband, John, who we learn at least a little bit about John through the dead drops, as I mentioned before, like tapes you can find around the game. Now, at some point, I think the first 3 or 4 tapes are required to learn about John, to like know that he's still alive and he's infiltrated the First Sons. We know that John and Moya both work for an agency, and like Moya's trying to save John, who's infiltrated the First Sons, to basically find out about the race spear, find out about Kessler, find out what he's up to, and things like that. And then our antagonist, those are our side characters. Our antagonists are Sasha, who is the leader of the Reapers. She controls one portion of Empire City, and basically like so everybody in this game were like the heroes: Cole, Sasha, Kessler, Alden, the Reapers. I don't think the Dustmen are conduits. They might be. I'm going to call the Dustmen conduits, and I'm going to say the First Sons are conduits. Well, the First Sons are definitely conduits. So basically what a conduit is when the Ray Spear exploded, which is what I'm explaining in the story, it basically kills 1,000 people around you, but whoever's holding it, it gives them powers. It can be anything from like... Sasha's is kind of vague. She kind of has like this like black plague that makes people sick, but it also like gives you like, it gives her mind control over people. Like it sprays you like this black liquid, and then she can like get in your head and make you do things. Alden, it's hinted that he was already telekinetic or like a mentalist to an extent, but like maybe like the Ray Spear blast made him like have psychic powers and things like that. And then Kessler, who is the major villain, he's also a conduit, which we'll get into later because that's a major reveal. And I think that's all the conduits. Yeah, and then Cole's an electric conduit. He can control lightning. He can absorb lightning throughout the city. You have electric senses. All of that I'm going to get into with abilities. So let me go, since I already... Yeah, we'll go into Cole's abilities. So some of Cole's abilities... like I said, he controls electricity, or like, well, not lightning, but electricity. So after the conduit Ray Spear blast like exploded, Cole got the power to control electricity. So he can absorb lightning through like lightning posts, cars that are driving by. You can absorb lightning; they'll stop. Traffic lights, generators, pretty much anything that you can think of. You can use anything you can think of that has electricity. You can absorb it. You can grind rail on the train tracks, on cables, on a power line pole. That's kind of like the basic thing. And then you have electric sense, like if you get weakened or damaged or hit, you can absorb lightning from like an object and, you know, heal yourself. Cole can't be in water for too long because it'll shock him as well and he'll die. But if an enemy's in the water, if you shock the water right next to them, they'll get electrocuted and die a little bit faster, which is pretty funny and pretty creative. But some of Cole's powers, the basic thing is Bolt. Now, the reason why I call it basic because, like, so when you use bolt, you have to aim and shoot. And I think the reason why I did that is because if you're playing hero, say like the villains have like the Reapers, the transient men, or the First Sons have a hostage, you can aim and just shoot their head, or you can just blast around the civilians. Someone playing evil isn't going to care, and they'll just shock whoever. Like I was saying, like if somebody's in the way, I'm just going to shoot them, electrocute them. Your powers can also destroy the environment. You can just explode cars, and if there's civilians or enemies near, they'll take damage. Civilians just get knocked down. They can die if they're hit too many times, but typically that's called like an environmental takedown. You can also surprisingly destroy a gas station, and it'll set the whole thing on fire, killing everybody around it, which was pretty crazy the first time I did that. That was pretty epic. After that, we have Shockwave, which basically is what it sounds. It like basically blasts forward I wish I could show you guys the powers. Like I said, I can't record my own gameplay, so I'd have to find the exact things, but I'm not going to bother doing that because that's too much time, There's probably not a video of somebody just showing the exact powers anyway. But anyways, there's Shockwave where you can like blast things back. It like propels your enemies away with a blast of lightning. It also can send back rockets that are fired at you. It can't reflect bullets, but it can reflect like cars or any like projectile weapon besides a bullet. It can send it back. After that, we have the Thunder Drop. I love this one. So if you climb up to a high enough building and jump, it doesn't have to be really high, but if you jump down, you'll basically like shroud yourself in lightning, and then when you hit the ground, the lightning scatters. It basically like knocks away enemies, but as well as like shocks the ground. So if civilians are nearby, they will get shocked, and you can use Pulse Heal to heal them, or you can just leave them for dead like I did when I did my evil playthrough. But yeah, or restraint enemies that are down with electric restraint. Let me see. There's Giga Blades, which is new to me because I never used them in my playthrough. But basically, Cole like electrocutes his hands and they get shrouded, like almost like in a lightning blade kind of thing. And it's supposed to like amp up your melee attacks because in this one, Cole doesn't have a weapon like he does in Festival of Blood and Infamous 2. It's just like punches and kicks. So this kind of like gives you like an electric like saw blade. Then we have Electric Drain, which is your basic like technique to like heal yourself, increase the level of your powers and things like that. If I didn't mention it in the first half, these are where you get the this is why collecting more electric nodes and collecting more Ray Spear shards is important because it'll increase your nodes throughout the game. Oh yeah, I did mention that. I did. After that, we have Arc Lightning. Arc Lightning is supposed to be a continuous stream of lightning. This one's interesting because I don't recall doing it ever, but apparently it's like either supposed to like connect the people that you're shocking. Like if you're shocking one and then move it over, it's supposed to shock the next person. I think that's how it's supposed to work. I didn't really do it as far as I know, so that would surprise me if it works. There is Overload Burst, which is also interesting because I think I tried to do something. It's supposed to like it says like it shocks the environment and destroys everything around it, which sounds like a Thunder Drop, except you don't have to jump. But I don't think Electric Overload do that for me. I think it like hypercharges electricity, but again, I never saw it do anything. Bio Leech, like I said, is the opposite of Pulse Heal. And instead of healing people on the ground, which you usually do for civilians, not villains, Bio Leech kills the villains, or you can kill civilians too. It basically heals yourself even faster, but you have to like struggle against them. It's not that hard. It's just like a little tapping thing. Restraint, like I said, it binds them down to the ground with like electricity. Shot Grenade is one of my favorite ones. You like chuck these like lightning bombs and they explode. It can take out a lot of enemies, especially if you have a horde of enemies coming at you. I like just chucking these shot grenades back to back to back and just watching them explode back to back. It can kill you as well. Like your own lightning can kill you, as well as my other favorite one. I think it's right after that. It's called the Megawatt Hammer. It's like basically like lightning rockets. You shoot it with your palm. That's more powerful than the grenades and like more concentrated. But again, like it can kill you if you're not focused on the right thing. Induction grind is basically what I said, like where Cole can grind on like power lines, electric power lines, the train tracks and things like that on top of trains. And you also like automatically like charge with electricity. You immediately electric drain doing that, so that's really useful. And you can also go faster by holding down R1 and stuff like that. Polarity Wall is new for me to use because it helped me in the last boss especially, but Polarity Wall basically blocks bullets. This is like the one that you want to use when they're hurling like rockets or they're hurling like cars, use the shockwave. But when they're firing bullets, use the polarity shield. It's like basically like a lightning shield like Captain America. And you can upgrade all these powers. Lightning sense is basically like how you're going to detect lightning around you, as well as dead drops. It'll tell you where dead drops are. It will, I think it's dead drops. I'll tell you where the Ray Spear shards are, which are scattered around the city. After that, we have... Oh, yeah, after that, it's Iconic Storm. This is where I think he has controls lightning, because it's like basically like a storm of electricity will rain down, and you can like control it to like maneuver. It easily takes out tanks, which are going to help you way later. Trust me, because them tanks are annoying. I think it's all of Cole's powers now. As I said, you can upgrade these abilities. It's simpler than Prototype. In Prototype, you had to like get points and then buy everything, whereas this one, it's like a little bit simpler. You still get points from like fighting and stuff like that and doing missions, but like they go like 3 max, so like maxing out all your powers can be done pretty easily. I maxed out everything but one thing before the final boss, so it's pretty easy, especially you do all the missions and fight all the enemies you see and stuff like that. You can knock out the oh, I'm drawing blanks right now. You can draw out the upgrade system. So after that, we're gonna get into the enemy types.
That's when I caught my first sight. The Reapers. Before the blast, they were just a bunch of junkies dealing drugs. Now, they own the Neon District. Taking whatever they want. That changes today.
So, and like I said, the city is divided into 3 sections, and you'll never really see the Reapers, Dustmen, or the First Sons like in each other's territory unless it's story driven, like a story mission. So in the first area that we go to, we run into Reapers. Reapers are like these red cloaked men. Their faces are completely black. They mostly use machine guns, but there are some that, one of them I call like a running courier. He like sets himself on fire, or he sets himself like a suicide bomber. He'll run at you. You have plenty of time to shoot at him, but they will try dodging and like when you aim. So just like shockwave them or blast them with rockets or something like that. But those are pretty good. And those are 2 enemy types. Another one's like they shoot rockets and stuff like that. That's where you use the blast wave, shockwave. There are cloaked Reapers. These guys have like psychic ability. These is why I think they're konjuis too. They're like basically send like a psychic shockwave straight at you. They wear like white coats and they're tall. And I think that's all the Reaper types. And then the leader is Sasha, who, like I said, has like mind control. Like she infects people with this black plague, and then she can like enter their mind and cause them to do or tell them to do things, and they'll listen. She tries to do that with Cole several times in the game. And if you're doing evil karma, it's implied that it's working on Cole, but you know, there's that. After that, we have the Dustmen or Transient Men, which, like I said, it goes back and forth. Even John like says it out loud, like Fourth Wall Breaks. He's like, I don't know, they're called Transient Men, they're called Dustmen, whatever. I'm gonna call them Dustmen. The Dustmen types are kind of similar archetype, except they like they're wearing trash cans and literally look like garbage. They basically look the same. They have guns. I think I have something else about it. Oh, there's this thing I called them a trash golem. Yeah, where they can become like this like giant golem thing, and like it takes a while to take down. Not too long, but like they're like these giants, and they're like slow to move, but they can hurl like trash at you, and they can like, I think it's like hurl like balls of fire at you as well. Like one's like a beam, and the other one's like balls, and then like other than that, they just move kind of slow towards you. Was there any other kind of Dustman type? There ones that shoot rockets again. Oh, there's one that like, okay, so he like, I didn't give him a name. I'm gonna call him the spider guy. There's this trash spider guy. Like, he like has this backpack, and like these like tiny little like trash like spiders are like sentient. They come out. They'll attack random civilians. You'll have to heal. If you want to play hero, you want to heal those people that the spiders attack to increase your hero karma. But other than that, like, they're kind of annoying. They'll scatter about. They'll run off, and he can do that multiple times. And he also takes a minute to go down. Like, he doesn't go down as quickly as like I want him to. And I think that's all the Dustman type. The First Sons control the third half of the city, and they are... Oh, sorry. Alden is the leader of the Dustman.
I was transfixed. Moya kept talking while I watched this man, this old, grizzled man, lift a bus with his mind. I'm strong, but nowhere near that powerful. Alden was born to the leader of the First Sons. As a powerful mentalist, he was groomed from an early age to assume control. That is until Kessler showed up. Alden disappeared into the streets, growing up scared and homeless. But there's no fear in those eyes now. No, the blast has made him powerful, gave him the tools to combat his paranoia. With a flick of his wrist, he threw the bus on top of the hospital, sending a message to anyone that would challenge him. With Trish still inside that thing, I had to act fast. Not that I could do anything to Alden. He was already gone.
And he was the former leader of the First Sons, but he got kicked out when Kessler took over. Again, I'll get into that for story part. But he has like psychic powers that were amplified. Well, he was a mentalist that had psychic powers amplified by the Ray Spear, and like he can also turn into like a giant golem thing. And there's a boss battle with that too, just like Sasha, which I'll get into when I get into the story. After that, we have the First Sons. The First Sons have like the most unique archetype to me. So instead of the spider guy, they have drones now. These drones like can shoot bullets. They also fly at you like suicide bombers. The First Sons have a suicide bomber too. He's a courier too. He's like runs up to you and shoots. The First Sons and the Reapers are kind of the same, except they just have different designs. And then the Golem compared to the psychic guy. But yeah, well, the Dustman. And then the First Sons, they have the drones. They have this. They have these guys that can turn invisible. Like they turn transparent. Like 1 minute they're visible, then they can turn transparent. You can kind of see them. There's like a blur, but like basically they can like sneak attack you if you're not paying attention. There are ones that like I call them like lightning giants or lightning titans. So like it's like one guy in the center, and he turns into like this giant made of electricity. And unless you shoot the main body, the lightning dude won't take any damage. You'll just go right through him. Oh, I call it the invisible guys, invisible grunts. And the way that the First Sons are dressed, I kind of want to call it like, but a mix of like medieval / like, you know, like the guys in submarines be looking, or better yet, from Teen Wolf. What were those guys called in Teen Wolf? The Dread Doctors. They look like the Dread Doctors. Like seriously, they look like the Dread Doctors. And they're led by Kessler, who is the leader of the First Sons after he kicked Alden out as a child. And like I said, that reveal is going to come later. I'll get into that about the boss fight. Yes, so those are the abilities. Those are the enemy types we'll be facing. Like I said, they control 3 different parts of the city, but they will interact throughout the story. There are a lot of karma choices. Some of the karma choices aren't as big as like others, but I'll get into those, like I said, as I talk through the story. But yeah, we'll get into the story right now. Yeah, let's get into that.
Ever been called a terrorist? All I remember from that day is going to work and then running for my life. That video, though. How'd I get that package? Why would I deliver a bomb? For who? Regardless, the consequences are everywhere. Whatever there'd been between Trish and me was gone. She didn't say a word, no emotion, nothing, just walked away. By then, people nearby were starting to recognize me. It was gonna get ugly. Even Zeke was giving me weird looks. He and I made quick plans to meet up at Stampton Bridge. Try to get out of town. Just hope he shows. Because right now, I'm a little short on friends.
So when the game begins, or the story begins, the Ray Spear's already exploded. All we see is this giant explosion. We hear thousands of people crying, screaming for their lives, and Cole wakes up in the hospital. Trish is with him. and so is Zeke. And they're like confused because Cole, like, he was just found in the middle of this crater. Cole wakes up in the middle of this crater, and like he has no idea what happened. He's like, I don't know what's going on. But then he realizes he has his like electric powers. He can absorb lightning and things like that. And Trish blames him immediately, thinking he's the terrorist that set off this bomb, because the reason why Trish hates Cole in this game or in the beginning is because Trish's sister was killed in that blast. So she blames Cole, even though Cole has no idea where this like came from, this package came from. He was just doing his job. He was just being a courier, and he didn't know there was a bomb inside. But Trish is still mad, and like, you know, the people in the city, because when the bomb went off, like everybody in the city lost power and they're hungry, they're not getting food. The government has quarantined all three like islands, and they separate the bridges connecting the islands. So not only are you isolated, you don't have food, you don't have water, you don't have power. That is like the recipe for chaos. And so, you know, Trish, she is a doctor or a nurse, I believe. So she's like trying to heal people and help the city. But she's just kind of like angry at you. She knows it's not your fault really, because she knows you wouldn't like set off a bomb. But she needs time to process, right? And then Zeke, who sees that you have powers, Zeke is envious. Zeke is like, oh man, this is so cool. I would love to have the powers that you have. And that's going to become relevant later, like how envious Zeke is. And Cole, in the beginning, before the karmic choices begin, he's like, I don't know. He's like, killing 1,000 people for these powers, though, it doesn't seem like a great idea until the karmic choices begin. As I said, your first choice is like with the food. You choose to either keep the food for yourself and Zeke and, you know, like let everybody else starve, or share it with the people. Sharing with the people, you instantly have hero karma, you instantly have blue lightning, and, you know, everybody praises you, they respect you. Trish respects you, things like that, because you went up and brought the food down, because the food, I forget to mention, is like on this like high platform, and you climbed up there to shock it down and get it for everybody. But if you keep it to yourself by shocking people that are trying to eat, Trish is kind of upset with you. Zeke kind of thinks you're being a jerk. Zeke doesn't hate you yet, but Trish already like doesn't like you for killing her sister or by accident. But, you know, she can't get over that, and now you're keeping food from people that have been starving and thirsty and hungry. So the dynamics, we already seen the dynamics based off your first choice. But, you know, Cole and Zeke are like, whatever, we're out of here. Like, we're leaving the city. Fuck this. Fuck the quarantine. We're getting out of here. So the second major choice happens when Cole and Zeke try to leave the city. And this is even forgetting about Trish for a second. They're just like, we're just getting out of here. We'll worry about Trish later. Well, after we get out of here and get our shit together, we'll come back. Well, this is where the second major karma choice is. And I call it a second major choice. I did say that there's two. These aren't your major choices. I'm going to call those critical choices. These are like major choices as far as like. Let me keep my list in front of me of the choices that I think were major. What? Oh yeah. Okay. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something else. But I'll mention that too. Anyways, so your second major karma choice, or major, not critical. Major karma choice is like to either like. So the police are like barricading the way out of the city, and you can either attack from within the crowd, which is evil karma, because you're gonna start a riot, or you can be the one that attacks the police yourself and be seen as like the hero trying to save them. Well, you know, either choice you make, the police get taken down. I obviously chose to attack within the crowd, start a riot, and as we made our way into the through this like barricade the police have set up, you know. You'll see people getting gunned down by the police, trying to stop. They're NPCs. You can still heal them with pulse heal, as I said, or you can just leave them to die like I did through my playthrough. I was just like, oh, well, you got shot. Too bad for you. But anyways, when Cole and Zeke finally make it to the barricade, they're confronted by turrets, and these policemen instantly shoot everybody. They're like shooting everybody down. There's no mercy.
The gate opened to a wall of razor wire machine guns. Zeke made a break for it, smashed in the gate to the decontamination unit, and fell headlong into the harbor. And I moved, faster than I knew I could. I was greeted by name. This FBI agent, Moya, had seen the footage of me at Ground Zero and came here to wait, figuring I'd try to escape, knowing I'd have powers. She explained that before the blast, her husband, John, had been assigned to infiltrate the First Sons, a shadowy group working on a project they called the Ray Sphere, a device designed to drain the neuroelectric energy from a group of people and concentrate it into an individual. She'd lost contact with John the night of the blast. Despite all her connections, Moya was losing hope. Yet she'd found me, somehow believing I could be trusted, ready to make me an offer. I go back to the city, find John in the Ray Sphere, and she'll get me out of the quarantine and clear my name. This whole Ray Sphere thing sounds crazy to me. Suddenly I'm a human light socket, so maybe I should cut her some slack.
And the reason why they're doing this because they don't know who the terrorist is. They don't know what bomb set off that destroyed the city. So they're thinking anybody's a suspect. So if you try to leave the island or try to escape the quarantine, you're gonna be gunned down. Zeke escaped off screen. Cole mentions that, and I think Cole jumped in the water, but as I said, it's weird if Cole did jump in the water because he's supposed to be electrocuted and die if he does. But I think story-wise, he did jump in the water or something like that. He probably landed on a raft. I'll have to relook at what happened, but that is something that happened to Cole. Like, that's the first reason why we don't all just, like, leave the island, because they will gun down anybody trying to leave this island, like, leave the quarantine. And so the following day, we meet up with Zeke and Cole, and they're in their hideout or on the rooftop, and we get a call from this woman named Moya. Moya is, like, working for a government agency, and she's like, hey, my husband John went missing. If you help me find him, I will get you out of the city, no questions asked. And Cole is, like, kind of suspicious, but she's like, look, you want out? I can get you out. You can trust me. So it seems simple, right? Just find this woman's husband, John, and we can get out of the city. Just simple, right? Well, it ain't that simple. First thing we know about John is that he infiltrated the First Sons, which control a third part of the city. And he was basically like investigating something called the Ray Sphere and a man named Kessler. The Ray Sphere, like I said, is what was used to create the conduits. Like when it's activated, it will kill 1,000 people, but whoever's holding it, they will get some kind of ability or power, which is how Sasha, Alden, Kessler, Cole got their powers through this thing, as well as like other conduits in later games. But again, this is just talking about this one specifically, Infamous 1. Let me check my notes real fast. Okay, so yeah, it goes in line with this karmic choice. So Moya tasked us with like turning power onto the city, and so this is why I said you like go into substations and you like absorb the electricity from the generator and you get like a new power ability, and then you can then when you get back to the surface you can like the electricity will be back on, so you can like detect dead drops. You can like absorb electricity to heal yourself. You can fight back against the Reapers, and you will start getting missions throughout the city. There are 15 good missions and there are 15 evil missions. You can mix them up if you want, but again, like I said, it'll lock out all evil at some point, or it'll lock out like most evil. It'll lock out most good. So pick a side from the moment you begin the game, because if you want to be all good, be all good. If you want to be all evil, be all evil. There are 2 critical choices that will swap that automatically, but we're not there yet. Right now, you can still just be good or evil. But like I said, choose one because that's going to how you max out your power. But while you're in the sewer for the first time, Cole gets to this spot where this guy has to open a gate for him. And you can either talk the guy down. Oh, he's looking for his wife. So his wife is dead. We know that. And you can talk him down and tell him, like, hey, I'm sorry, your wife is dead. We know that his wife is dead because we passed her earlier in the sewer. Or you can just shock and kill or I don't think you kill him, but you shock him and make him open the gate. And that's your evil choice.
What are you doing here? Did they see you?
I need to turn on the substation.
Are you out of your damn mind? The Reapers will kill my wife. No one is getting in here.
Open the door.
Screw you! I've jammed this thing up tight. No one is getting in or out until she's safe.
Poor guy. Still thinks he's protecting Lene. Doesn't change the fact that I need to get in there. I can either fry him and open the door that way, or tell him that his wife is dead. See if that gets him to back off. Lene is dead. They shot her.
How do you know her name?
I know this is hard. I saw her body. There was nothing anyone could do.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted. I'm so sorry, Lene. Listen to me. I've seen what you can do. You have to kill them. All of them. Promise me.
I'll do what I can.
Or you can do what I did.
What are you doing here? Did they see you?
I need to turn on the substation.
Are you out of your damn mind? The Reapers will kill my wife. No one is getting in here.
Open the door.
Screw you! I've jammed this thing up tight. No one is getting in or out until she's safe.
Poor guy. Still thinks he's protecting Lene. Doesn't change the fact that I need to get in there. I can either fry him and open the door that way, or tell him that his wife is dead. See if that gets him to back off.
So you don't have to shock this guy, but again, I was taking an evil playthrough, so I shocked him. He forced open the gate. Went back to the surface. The power is on just in that section of the city. There aren't just like three. There aren't just three substations that you have to recharge up. There's a substation for every ability you have. So I think Cole has like 12 to 15 power, so it's like 15 generators, maybe like 5 on each island, possibly. That'd be probably a good way to space them out. It might not be that simple, but that's basically what it is. You have like power 5 generators. You can turn the power in the city. Anyways, so after finding these dead drops, we know that John's still alive because John's leaving these recordings reporting about Kessler, like what he's up to, his experiments, what they're doing to John. So when John infiltrated the First Sons through his dead drops, we learned that basically like John pretended to be a conduit that can control things in his mind, like basically like protect his mind. So Kessler testing him was like, okay, I'm gonna punch you until you force me to stop, and if you don't, then you're just gonna die. And basically Kessler kept punching him until John knocked out. So they know that John wasn't actually a conduit, but John pretended he was like, oh, I just exhausted myself, because at first John was just acting like he wasn't getting hurt by the punches, but eventually it did knock him out. So he just like, oh, I was tired. But yeah, that's all we know about John so far in the beginning, is that like John is, well, I mean, that's basically John's whole thing, but that's what we know in the beginning, is that John infiltrated the First Sons to find out more about Kessler, to find out more about the Ray Spear, how to stop it, what it does, and how to destroy it. And then there's some missions and random things that happen. But basically, we're going to get to this one mission where, and this is like another major karmic choice that involves Trish and will involve Kessler. So in this mission, you are like breaking open or like overcharging these like water pumps, and they're filled with plague. Sasha and the Reapers have like turned all the water that's been restored to the city into plague. So anybody that drinks this water is going to get sick, and they're going to get mind controlled by Sasha. So Trish asks you, she's talking to us, she's giving us a chance. This is the first chance that you have to like make amends with Trish. If you fuck this up like I did, you're gonna start making her resent you even more.
Overcharging this pump will keep me high and dry, but it also means that everyone in this water main will get sick. Whose health means more? Mine or theirs?
I know it hurts, Cole, but this is how it's got to be. Too many people will get sick otherwise.
Oh, it's filling my throat. Damn it.
Or you can do what I did.
Overcharging this pump will keep me high and dry. But it also means that everyone in this water main will get sick. Whose health means more? Mine or theirs?
Damn it. There's going to be a lot of sick people if you keep dropping that crap into the water. Not making life any easier for the people in those buildings, Cole.
What the hell is going on up there? There are more sick people than ever. You're making things worse.
Sorry. It's the only way I can get this stuff off the water towers.
Yeah, right. You've been better off without your help.
You're dumping all kinds of tar into the system.
So, Trish asked you to, like, go deal with these pumps. Like, she's like, you're powerful. The Reapers are guarding them. Take the Reapers down. Turn off these pumps. So, the first few times you destroy the pumps, Moya's like, hey, Cole, don't destroy the pumps because you're releasing more waste or more plague into the water. What you're supposed to do is let the plague fall onto yourself. And that's the good choice. You do it 3 times, but the first 2 times you do it, like, you're infected with the plague and Sasha's taunting you and saying she's in love with you and shit like that. And Moya's like praising you. But if you do what I did, keep destroying the first 2 valves, Moya's getting more annoyed. Trish is getting more annoyed. Trish is like, hey, there's more plague out here. What are you doing, Cole? Moya's like, Cole, stop that. You're making people sick. Well, the reason Cole doesn't want that plague on him in the evil playthrough is because then Sasha gets in his head. Sasha tries to mind control him. So you get to the 3rd valve. And this is your last chance. Your last chance. Trish is not playing with you. Moya's on the fence with you. If you have a choice to either shoot the plague this is like the most plague. If you shoot this plague, all of it will come onto, no, if you shoot the plague, it'll infect the water supply and basically the entire city will get sick. Or you can choose to absorb it and let it all fall on you and Trish will praise you. After this choice, Kessler shows up immediately. But again, I chose to infect the city because I guess I'm no evil playthrough. But after that, Kessler shows up, and this is the first chance we get to see him. He's in like this trench coat, white, radiant glowing eyes, and Kessler tells us a major review.
He leaped toward me, his icy fingers digging into my head. For a moment there was nothing, and then he started to show me things. Horrible things. Beyond description. And in that split second, I understood he was showing me the future. Death and destruction on an unimaginable scale. As he released me, I knew that he was responsible for all of it. That he had opened Pandora's box, and it wasn't ever gonna close, and that damn ray spear was somehow involved. And then he was gone.
That's right. Kessler set us up. He gave us the bomb, the ray spear, and he set it off. He told Cole when to stop, and he set off the ray spear in the middle of the city, giving us powers but killing millions of people. But why did Kessler do that? We don't get the answer because Kessler disappears immediately after. How ironic. Well, you'll know why later. So after this, we go to face Sasha. Pretty much the fight we have to stop Sasha from releasing more of this plague onto the city. We have to stop all the Reapers. Moya's like, listen, you gotta take this bitch down. We gotta take her down. And we're down with that. Like, we know that Kessler unleashed the ray spear, but we still have to stop Sasha. We have to put an end to Sasha. She's controlling our mind anyway with all this plague. or trying to, as well as most of the city. The fight with Sasha is pretty interesting. I think I have some notes on it here. I don't have much to say about it though. I thought the fight was interesting as you have to stay on this ground because like most of it's not water, but it's like plague. You can go in there to like punch her up close and personal, but it's better to stay out of that plague because I think like she gets in your head, as far as I remember. But basically, you just shoot her with lightning. You can throw balls of lightning and things like that. And as she's in your mind, what she does to fight back is like she creates like these like hallucinations of other Reapers, and they're firing guns at you. They can hurt you, but you can take them all out with like one hit of your electricity. After like doing enough damage to Sasha, you'll go in and you'll like attack her up close and personal, and like you have to like remove these like nodes from her. It's not that hard. Like it's like a little pressing battle. But basically, like, in the end, we basically learned that, like, Sasha is what we would become if we didn't, like... So Sasha was consumed by her power. She got consumed by, like, darkness from her own... She was eating... I don't want to say eating her own power. She was, like... She basically got corrupted by her own power. And so that turned into like this like monstrous looking form, I think she has like a weird looking tongue and everything and black eyes. She looks very weird, very monstrous. Oh, and I'm also forgetting to mention, like, when you travel to her base or like her underground lair, she has these people like chained up in like are locked up in these like cages, and over them are these like plague machines. If you ignore them, you instantly have evil karma, or you not instantly, but you get more evil karma. But you can choose to save them, and you'll have heroic karma. If you're already evil at this point, saving those people doesn't take too much, like, of your infamous karma away, because it's like a scale. Like, it does like some missions do a lot, some don't. But saving those people, I just felt like it was necessary. I was like, I don't need no more Reapers out there. That's what I was thinking in my head. If I was Cole, I was like, I don't need no more Reapers to deal with. So I saved them and got like a slightly heroic karma added to my meter. But yeah, it's a pretty easy fight. I thought it was pretty creative though, especially her design, because like I said, she looks freaky as hell. But that's the end of like that fight. So then after that, I think we make our way to the second island. And we basically learn at this point that like John escaped, and this is without collecting all the dead drops. You can't collect every single one because like they're scattered across all three islands, but you can basically learn by that point that John escaped the First Sons, and I think he either had the Ray Spear or the Ray Spear was stolen and disappeared. I think that's what happened. Because John at some point mentions the Ray Spear was stolen. I think John escaped with the Ray Spear, and then the Ray Spear was stolen from John. I think that's what exactly that happened. But basically, Moya's like, "Hey, John, we know where John is. He's gonna go meet up with my team, my extraction team. Get to John before my extraction team does." And so we're like chasing this helicopter that's like trying to extract John, and John's trying to escape. John doesn't even know who we are. John doesn't even know we're looking for him. But basically, this police helicopter gets shot down, I think by the Dustmen. Yeah, because this is the second island. They get shot down by the Dustmen. And while we're like fighting this Dustman, there is a major choice here too. Where's my karmic list? I think this is where another major choice happens. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I know it's on here, though. Okay, yeah, right here, number 12. Like I said, there's like... So on here I have 16 major karma choices. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can find out through the game, but just know that there's karma choices throughout the game, as well as, like I said, missions. But at this choice... When it's like a trash golem, like I said, like one of those like giant. It's a transient / dustman that has like this giant golem, and he like fired a like projectile at the helicopter and destroyed it. And so while our attention is now turned to this golem, and we're given a choice to either like, I think it's like blast the. It like starts forming a like fireball. It's like blast the fireball, but you will kill all the civilians under this like golem because there's civilians on the ground. Or I think you let it hit you and you take the damage. And Cole, I'll probably put that choice too.
No one's taking me in.
Damn it, John! Cease fire! We're here to get you out!
Why can't anything be simple? Oh, crap. That damn thing is gonna throw the chopper's gas tank at me. And even if it doesn't score a direct hit, the explosion's still gonna mess me up. I could shoot the tank now, use it to blow off the golem's arm. That'd make my life easier. But the explosion will incinerate all of those injured people.
Or you can do what I did.
Them's the brakes.
But Cole, he like chooses to save himself. He's like, fuck those people, and like basically the explosion kills. It kills the golem, but it also kills the civilians under it. I felt so bad being Infamous in this game. It felt so bad. I really did. Like, I've always played Hero and Infamous, but because, like I said, we didn't get Infamous 3 because we got Infamous Second Son instead of Infamous 3 because everybody chose Hero in Infamous 2, or a majority of people chose Hero over the villain ending in Infamous 2, which makes sense because of what happens in Infamous 2. We're not going to talk about that, but what happens, it makes sense. And so, post that mission or post that battle, John escaped at some point. And we get a call from like this unknown number, and it's John. And John's like, "Who are you? What are you after me for?" And we're like, "Hey, John, we were sitting here by your wife Moya." And he immediately is like, "Who is Moya? I don't know no wife named Moya. I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about." And so Cole was like, "Wait, what do you mean you don't know who Moya is?" And John, because he's trying to stay hidden, he like always will tell you like how many seconds he's got left on the phone before like they can track him. He's like 63 seconds, and he'll say whatever. He's like 7 seconds, and that's like your time to respond, and he just won't respond back. But it's pretty interesting because like you can tell how secretive John's trying to be. But so, whew, goodness. So where am I at? My thoughts. So yeah. So John tells us eventually like where the Ray Spear is. He's like, "Hey, the Ray Spear is on top of this tower." This is what people said is like their favorite mission. I can understand why, because like scaling this building is kind of interesting. But you have to scale to the top of this tower. John's like, "The Ray Spear is up there. I need you to go up there with somebody you trust." And Cole asked like, "John, why don't you come with me?" And John's like, "Look, I'm not willing to risk my life out there right now. Like the first son's already after me. The FBI extraction team that I was with like got killed, and on top of that, like I've been tortured for like so many days or weeks." He's like, "I'm not doing that. You find somebody you trust and go after the Ray Spear." So we choose Zeke, our best friend. Remember what I said about Zeke though? Zeke wants superpowers. So you can tell where this is going. So we climb to the top of the tower with Zeke, and up there is Alden. Alden was the former leader of the First Sons. He got kicked out he was the son of the leader of the First Sons, took over the position, but then Kessler came out of nowhere and like kicked him out, and Alden lived on the streets for like years. He grew up into this old man who eventually got more powerful because of the Ray Spear going off, which like I said, I'll try to clip that in too. I'm trying to remember to clip all these things in because and this is my own gameplay. I could have these perfectly for you guys, but because I'm literally have to find these on YouTube and clip them in there, it's kind of exhausting because I'm like, why'd they have to make this so difficult? If they would just make this game remastered, it'd be so much easier. Anyways, so when we get to the top, Alden's there, and he's like, has the Ray Spear, and we tell Zeke to go after the Ray Spear while we take out the enemies on the top of the tower. This is like a short battle. There was a pre-battle that only happens. So this might be the first fight for heroes that play just hero version of Infamous, because I believe you don't get the first original fight if you choose the hero choice. Okay, let me explain. So a mission before this there was like a jailbreak, right? Alden was arrested, I think. At some point, for some reason, we're chasing Alden. No, he wasn't arrested yet. That's right. He wasn't arrested yet. That's right. The first time we meet Alden, we're chasing him. There's this thing called so another power Cole has is seeing people's memories using his electricity. It's not really explained. Just assume electricity, people's mind. He can connect to it, whatever. Anyways, we're chasing Alden, but we get to this choice where you can either save this man being hanged by a bunch of people or go after Alden.
He stole my food! Kill him! I probably shouldn't get involved in this. Alden's still running around, and if he gets away, Moya's gonna have my hide. I could zap that guy and cut him loose. Or maybe I just walk away and leave him there to rot.
Or you can do what I did. Now, you would think the heroic choice is going after Alden. No. The heroic choice is saving the man. Going after Alden is the evil choice because you're leaving a man to die. Well, obviously, evil choice, I went after Alden. So my first fight with Alden is actually the first time I saw the giant golem. So I think it was even before we met John, we had saw the giant golem. Because, yeah, the first time I seen that was fighting Alden. That's right. And the fight basically the same. He fires projectiles. He fires he throws cars sometimes, which just come back with shockwave, and he hurls the fireballs and things like that. But it's a pretty simple fight. And then in the end, Alden gets captured, taken to the prison, and eventually he breaks out, and that's how we get to. Well, let me back up. There's something important to say there. So yeah, post that fight after chasing Alden, which you only can do apparently if you're doing evil, because if you play hero, Alden will escape. So Alden gets captured by the police, and he's taken to a prison. And the reason why this is important, why I kind of glossed over, but I'm going to backtrack, is because this is where Zeke fucks up apparently. So I'm not sure if Zeke fucks up in hero, but in villain, Zeke leaves Alden behind. They have Alden in this prison for conduits, to depower them. But eventually the dustmen or the transit men take out the power around the prison, so Alden's power is slowly coming back to him. But Zeke, who was watching him, leaves Alden behind. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. He's like, I came to help the police, and Cole's like, look, Zeke, watch him. Do not leave Alden alone. He's a conduit. The police cannot handle him. But Zeke's like, hey man, we got it. So while we're fighting the conduits outside, Alden escapes.
By the time I got inside, it was too late. The place was slick with gore. Poor bastards never got any backup. If Zeke kept his post, they'd be alive now. And Alden would still be in a cage. Not sure Zeke's ever gonna forgive himself for this. Don't know that he should. That night, we could hear the screams from Tent City. They were drunk on power, proud of their victory over the cops and over me. Now the race sphere seems farther away than ever. Alden knows we're coming. He'll prepare.
Because he got his powers back. And I'll play that scene too, but basically Cole is ashamed of Zeke because Zeke is the reason why this happened. Zeke is the reason why Alden escaped. If Zeke had kept watching Alden, he would have never escaped. So we gotta blame him for that. So the reason why it's relevant to the tower mission, as well as Zeke going after Race Spray now, is because this is Zeke's redemption arc. Just like we had a redemption with Trish, with the letting ourselves get plagued on, or plaguing the entire city. This is Zeke's redemption arc. And so we're trusting Zeke to get the Race Spear when we take out the enemies. And Zeke does get the Race Spear. And Alden is paused because Kessler shows up. Kessler shows up immediately after our fight with Alden. And they're glaring each other down while Zeke has a Race Spear. And you would think Zeke would just keep the Race Spear safe. But remember what I said. Zeke wanted superpowers. So what does Zeke do? He betrayed us.
yanked the ray sphere out of its cradle and was caught between Alden and Kessler. It was definitely time to escape, but he just stood there, petrified. You see, through the fear, he realized that the key to his dreams, the tool to make him superpowered, was right between his hands. Asshole makes the choice to kill thousands, stealing their lives so that he'll be transformed, and then nothing. Everyone's fine. No change at all. Kessler's first to grasp the situation. Claims to know what's wrong. If Zeke brings him the ray sphere, Kessler will be able to give Zeke the powers he craves. My best friend looks me in the eye, and then makes his second mistake. Alden goes ballistic at the loss of the sphere. The tower shakes and it starts to rip apart. But I was just dumbfounded. Barely felt the impact.
Yep, Zeke wanted powers that badly. So much so that even after it didn't work, he goes with Kessler. The guy that, like, fucking started out the bomb, caused all this to happen, he goes with them. Zeke, are you that desperate for relevancy? You throughout the game, Zeke, like, tries to go on a date with a lady, and, like, she rejects him or something like that, and Zeke feels like he's inferior to Cole, because at some point, Cole, it's like a short little comedy thing where, like, Cole, there's this guy making posters. You can just talk to him at some point. He asks Cole, like, hey, which picture do you think is cooler? There's a picture where Cole's being praised as a hero, which it doesn't turn instant karma, but just, like, gives people, like, the impression of you. Or there's a poster of Cole, like, looking like basically like a psychotic killer. And Cole says, well, I can either be loved by the people or I can be feared by the people.
Holy crap, you're him. It's great what you're doing. The way you're cleaning up this place.
What are those posters supposed to be for?
Just trying something out, you know? Spreading word about you, what you're doing. Which one do you like?
Since this guy is gonna hang those up anyway, I might as well decide how people should view me. Do I want them to love me? Or fear me? I like that one.
Right on! I'll print up more of those and start hanging them all over the city. It's gonna be awesome.
Zeke is never gonna believe this one.
Or you can do what I did.
I like that one.
Right on! I'll print up more of those and start hanging them all over the city. It's gonna be awesome.
Zeke is never gonna believe this one.
I chose to stick with evil karma, so I chose to be feared, and that's when these posters are thrown up around the city. Which is, like, again, to make this world feel lived in. But, don't lose my train of thought. So Kessler and Zeke go off together, and Alden just escapes. And John is pissed at us. He's like, how did you lose the ray spear? It was in your hands. And on top of that, I told you to bring somebody you could trust. Then Moya calls us. She's talking shit, too. She's like, oh, this is what wouldn't happen if you had teamed up with me. We ain't taking Moya's shit, though, because she already lied about John. So she could be lying about anything else. We ain't taking her shit. And then we're even just more disappointed in Zeke, because, one, Zeke is the reason Alden escaped the first time. And now Zeke tried to use the ray spear. And he tries to use the ray spear, I think, even in good karma, that he goes with Kessler. But I think our response to him is different if we're hero karma. But yeah, we are pissed at Zeke. But with Alden and Kessler on the loose, it's time to take down Alden at least. Like, John tells us where to find Alden, so we go. We fight Alden on a bridge, and it's a pretty creative fight. I have some notes on it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a projectile battle. So, in this battle against Alden, he's like a giant snake or something like that, or a giant dragon, and he's like blasting, like, he can throw fireballs at us and, like, set the ground on fire. He can shoot cars at us, which you can send back with the telepathic wave. And I think he does like a beam of rocks and trash. But it's a pretty easy fight. I was going down pretty fast too, I think. But yeah, let me see if I have any other notes on it. Oh yeah, this is where I brought up the polarity shield. This has helped me too. I mentioned the polarity shield can block. It blocks the vomit of trash that he does, like where I said, like, or the beam of trash. He throws fireballs or balls of trash. You can send back a shockwave. And then, yeah, he breathes fire, so watch your step. It's a small platform. Wait, what did I say? What best? Oh, yeah. And then so there are several phases. One is that he'll throw cars and balls of trash. You can send back a shockwave. He'll do a beam of trash. I call it a vomit trash. Just use your polarity shield to block that. He will shoot blasts of fire, so watch your step. And then the last thing I said is, like, when he does go down, he goes down temporarily, like, just like in phases. He'll send out these spiders, and they'll, like, scatter and try to attack you. Just take them out easy. They go down, like, one hit. But post that battle, before we can even finish off Alden, he jumps into the ocean and escapes. And from that height, an ordinary man would die. But because we know that Alden is like a psychic conduit, we know that he'll survive. So I'll play that clip for you guys so you can see that.
Alden no longer seemed like a threat to anyone. Just some old guy howling about how Kessler had stolen his first son's birthright. Then he changed his tone. Claimed he wanted to work with me to get revenge, to join forces and kill Kessler. Guy must have felt my hesitation, because in that moment of indecision, he jumped. No normal man could have survived that fall, but Alden's a conduit. Same rules don't apply. Either way, this thing's coming to a head. My enemies are all gathered here in the historic district. Kessler's preparing them for the final battle. Yeah, this is the finish line. Just wish I wasn't crossing it alone.
Now, any of you guys that have watched my videos on how to write a book, when I talk about the 3 types of ending to a book, I talk about succession, which is where your character gets what he wanted and succeeds, which I use as an example. Pokemon trainer, Ash Ketchum, he set off on his Pokemon journey to capture all 150 Pokemon. This is the original Pokemon Red, and he wants to become the Pokemon champion, which he does. That's a succession story. That's traditionally how a story goes. Whatever your character wants, Naruto becomes Hokage, Luffy's going to become the king of the pirates, Asta's going to become the Wizard King. That's your traditional succession story. The second type of ending I talk about is a change of heart, where the hero gets what he wanted, but he changes his mind. And I use Hercules for that example. Hercules' whole thing was that he wanted to go home to Olympus and be with his family, but he falls in love with a woman, normal human named Trish, and he can't have both. He's become a god after willing to sacrifice his life to save Meg, but he chooses to stay behind on Earth with Meg because he loves her. He gives up something he wants for something of greater or equal value, which is Meg. But when I mention tragedy, I always come back to Infamous. Tragedy is the hero gets what he wants, but at a terrible cost. As playing a hero playthrough originally, this is where I talked about the game fucked me up. This is the first critical karma that will instantly change your hero status to Infamous, or your info status to hero, or just increase your hero status even higher, or increase your Infamous status to even higher. What I mean is, so post defeating Alden, Kessler talks about, if you've been evil to this point, no. Kessler doesn't mention that yet. So we go to, we get a call from Kessler. Kessler's calling us directly now. Kessler is like, Cole, it's time for the ultimate choice. I'm tasking you with saving these people. There are bombs around the city. 3 bombs, I believe. No, 4. 3 bombs. And they're guarded by the First Son. So now we're on the 3rd island. And the First Sons are, like I said, the drones, the electric titans, the invisible grunts. These are those guys, the dread doctors. And this mission starts with like saving people around the city that are surrounded by bombs. And they're surrounded, and they can be discharged by electricity, but you have First Sons attacking you. The first 3 are just normal humans. You're going to get hero karma regardless from that. You're going to get hero karma regardless. It doesn't matter if you're playing Infamous. It's fine. Don't worry, because this is where you're Infamous. This is where if you're trying to stay Infamous, it will stay that way. So we take out 3 of the bombs. Castor's like, good job, not bad. You're turning out to be a hero. Well, the 4th bomb has... So all the bombs had like 30 seconds to a minute. This last bomb has 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And if you do nothing, that's even worse. I think you still get infamous karma doing nothing. This choice, this karmic choice, changes everything. If you have a choice to save 10 doctors or 6 doctors that can cure the plague in the city, cure all Sasha's plague, they will heal everybody. They can save the city, Empire City. Or you can save your girlfriend Trish. This is you in the center. You cannot make it to both of these at once. Let me ask you, and this is a karma choice, and the best part is, this karma choice is hidden. It doesn't show you which is hero. It doesn't show you which is villain. You can obviously tell which one's hero or villain in other karma choices. These 2 critical choices, you can't tell. So which do you think is the hero choice? Saving the 10 doctors or saving your girlfriend? As someone that originally played Infamous, I know what the choice is now because I did Evil Karma, but as someone that originally played Infamous as hero, I thought I had saved the city enough, I had got loved by the city enough, people were praising me when I walked by, I had taken on the villains. I thought I could make one selfish choice and the game would be okay. I went to save my girlfriend. I didn't even think about the doctors. The moment you get up there to Trish, if you're playing hero or Infamous, it doesn't matter. The moment you choose your girlfriend, she ain't up there. It's some random woman that says, my name's not Trish. Who the hell is Trish? Trish is with the 6 doctors. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'll just reset the game like I did. Reset the game for the mission saves. Reset it. Because guess what? When I chose Trish when I was heroic, I instantly got Infamous. It went from hero to Infamous. Immediately, because that is the wrong choice to make. That is the wrong first critical choice to make. You can still redeem yourself from that Infamous thing if you chose to save the fake Trish, which you don't know it's a fake Trish. But you will get that Infamous thing choosing Trish regardless. Now, you might think you're slick. You might have been like, okay, I've been hero karma. I have to save the 6 doctors because Trish is up there and obviously that woman will be safe. So, let's say you reset the game and you go to save Trish. Or you go to the doctors and think Trish is up there. Trish ain't with the doctors. Now Trish is that woman that was over there and wasn't Trish before. And Trish will die, but you get the hero karma.
The final bomb is counting down. And it comes down to this, your final test. From one roof hangs Trish, the love of your life. From the other, 6 doctors. Think of all the good they'll be able to do, the thousands of lives they'll save. Which is more important, Cole? The life of one, or the lives of many? Bombs are attached to each platform. You have time to save one, but not both. Choose. I wish there was some other way. That Trish didn't have to die. She's such a special woman. But in times of war, crisis, one must learn to ignore their feelings and do what benefits the whole, not the individual. No matter how painful.
Please get us down!
Trish! Time slowed down as Trish fell. All my powers, and I couldn't do a thing. For a second, she sprung to life, just long enough to say that she was proud of me for what I'd become. Proud that I was helping people with my powers, and that she loved me for it. I buried her in the park alongside others who died since the blast. Kessler's gonna pay for this. I'm gonna find that sick bastard, and I'm gonna kill him.
Or you can do what I did.
You have time to save one, but not both. Choose. disappointed, Cole. Very disappointed. I expected more from you. Thought you'd be able to set aside your selfishness. See the big picture. Looks like I was wrong.
Trish!
Who the hell's Trish? Get me out of this!
Trish!
Time slowed down as Trish fell. All my powers, and I couldn't do a thing. For a second, she sprung to life, just long enough to say that she was ashamed of what I'd become. That God had given me these powers, and I'd squandered them, hurting others and thinking only of myself. I buried her in the park alongside others who died since the blast. Kessler's gonna pay for this. I'm gonna find that sick bastard, and I'm gonna kill him.
I loved this twist. When I tell you, it awakened something in my mind about what it means to be a hero. A hero has to sacrifice. You will always sacrifice if you're a hero. The villain will always play on the one you love if you choose to be a hero. That opened my eyes. I'm going to play both scenes. I'm going to show you the infamous version of that, and then I'm going to show you the hero version of that. We then go to get our most iconic ability in the game. I think it's called Iconic Storm. Yeah, it's the lightning ability that streams lightning down from the sky. And as we exit the substation, Moya contacts us again, and she tells us the truth about John and about herself and about the race steer and about how Cole and about helping Cole. And she basically is like, I'm sorry I lied to you. John works for a different agency. I work for another agency. Just think of all the good we can do if we have the race spear. And she basically is like, look, hey, you get the race spear from me. I'll still get you out. But Cole ain't hearing it. Trish just died. We ain't listening to anything she got to say. And then we learn that Kessler's ultimate plan is to unleash this, like, Sasha's. So through the dead tapes that you get, or through the dead drops you collect around the city from John, you learn that Kessler at one point had captured Sasha and was experimenting on her and her plague powers. The reason why Kessler wanted her plague is because he's going to turn that into a gas around the whole city and basically turn you into the ultimate enemy. Even if you are hero karma, they will still attack you. Like, everybody thinks you're the enemy. You're enemy number one. They will all try to attack you. Also, by this point, you will hear from the dead drops that the voice of survival died. He got killed by the First Sons. And you'll see that broadcast too, or like hear that broadcast, like walking around. Eventually, like you'll hear him like talk about like he's panicking, like somebody just broke in. And you'll hear him being gunned down. Again, it's making the whole world feel lived in. But yeah, so to take down these like gas balloons, we have to like use Iconic Storm to like destroy this force field around these balloons, and then go manually take them down. It's a pretty fun fight, but everybody around the city act like zombies. Like cops will shoot you, random citizens will come up and attack you. They will follow you and attack you because they're under control of Sasha's gas. And if you're under it directly too, you'll get taunted by the gas, and John will like criticize you like, "Hey, get from under there." And Zeke calls you at some point during this too. He's like apologizing. He's like, Cole, look, I didn't know that they were gonna kill Trish. If I had known that, I would have never teamed up with him. And, you know, in Evil Karma, Cole doesn't reply. I think in Good Karma, Cole did say something, but I don't remember. But I know Evil Karma, Cole just doesn't respond to him. He just lets Zeke talk. Let me check my notes real fast. Oh, yeah, we can learn to trust John at this point because John tells us he almost stopped us from activating the race spear. And Cole's like, what do you mean? And John is like, I was following you the whole time. I didn't know what you had, but I was trying to stop you. And Cole's like, why didn't you? He's like, because you ran a red light. I thought that was a funny little joke in there, but you can see like John and Cole kind of bonding. It's not like Zeke, but it's like Cole can trust John. You feel like you can trust this guy. And let me check my notes again. Oh yeah, John also warns us like so John's whole thing, Moya wants to get the race bear to like basically make more like coal. This is what John tells us. But John wants to destroy it. He wants to prevent more conduits like Cole, like Sasha, like Kessler, like Alden. Because if more people like conduits exist, the government can't fight back. Cole easily takes down the cops. He easily takes down planes. He easily can absorb electricity. Sasha has mind control. That's already powerful. Fucking Alden can move objects with his mind. Fucking at one point, Alden even threw a bus into a hospital. Like, conduits are crazy powerful. So yeah, John is like, look, we have to destroy the race spear, period. Whereas Moya is like, oh, you give me the race spear, I'll help you get out of the city, but you know, we can make more. We can have an army. It can be good for our country, basically. Kind of reminds me of the Soviet Accords, like when Captain America was like, oh, we have to protect our own identities, whereas like Iron Man's like, no, we have to take responsibility. That's kind of what John and Moya are. John is Iron Man, and then Moya is like Captain America. Moya is like, oh, do it for our country. No. Iron Man was doing it for our country, and then Captain America was like, no, we have to protect ourselves. So like, John is Captain America, we have to destroy the race spear. Wait, who would Moya be? Because Iron Man wanted to protect the civilians but be under the government, whereas Captain America wanted freedom. Either way, they're one or the other. You can debate in the comment section which one is Moya, which one is John for Iron Man, Captain America, Civil War. Let's see. Oh, then the government is like no longer playing because they know that Kessler has a race spear, and they're on their last strength. They start bombing the city with like jets. And so this is because we're told by John, because we lost the race spear, because Alden escaped, because Kessler, you know, is still out there. Like, the government is like trying to destroy the whole city. And so let me check my notes for this part. Oh, I have a lot of notes, guys. I already mentioned the voice of survival. Oh yeah, the government is gonna use us as like, oh, so no, Moya tells us that she's gonna pin all of this on us, like the whole city being destroyed, everything. She's pinning all of that on us. Like, she's like, you're taking the fall for this, and it's through John's help. Oh wait, yeah, this is the. Right, okay, I know the end of this, okay. After I get past this part, I know the end of this. So, we help John take out the planes that are destroying the city. And eventually we find out where Kessler had put... So yeah, after we stopped the city from being bombed by the planes, Moya's now out of the picture. Moya just plans on pinning all of this on us, so she's out of the picture. But John is like... He's tracked down the race spear. I think we had to like follow a courier or something. We had to follow a plane. We followed something to get to the race spear. But anyway, John told us where it is. And so this is leading up to the final battle. This is leading up to the second critical karma choice that we're about to talk about right now. So this karma choice. We battle our way through the first sons and get to the race spear. It's been left unguarded, which should be suspicious. But John and Cole don't think anything of it. So we get to the race spear, and John's like, all right, time to destroy it. But Cole has another thought too. Let's show that.
You know, I had that thing in my hands once. Kessler asked me to hold it while he adjusted some cables during a test. I could feel it pulsing, like something was inside it trying to get out. It's not right.
And everyone wants it.
That big lightning strike of yours should destroy its protective container. Then we can blow the sphere sky high.
How many lives has that thing destroyed? Corrupted? I can't risk it falling into the wrong hands. But it gave me powers once before. If I use it again, it could make me twice as strong. And then no one would dare challenge me.
Or you can do what I did.
pick up the ray sphere and instantly feel it leeching off me, humming and crackling, growing in power. As I activate it, I think of Trish, how she died, and I swear to myself that I will never let something like that happen again. Then John rips it away, telling me I'm crazy, screaming, but it's too late. The ray sphere breaks open, creating a vortex. It tears John apart, and I run. John and the ray sphere are gone, reduced to ashes, but I got what I wanted.
This is your second and final karmic choice. This decides what you are, no matter what choice you made throughout the entire game. Every other choice does not matter past this point. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Choosing to activate the ray sphere turns you infinitely infamous. The scale is broken. It is broken. All that shows is red. And on top of that, your red lightning is now black. It looks so fucking dope. I never saw this because I never did evil karma all the way through. But yes, if you've been a hero, choosing to activate the ray sphere, choosing to give yourself more power, you instantly have black lightning. You instantly are infamous. You cannot go back. Now, if you choose to, I believe if you were evil and then you chose to destroy the ray sphere, you go instantly good karma, and I don't think you can go back. I don't know if it works like that for good, but I imagine it does, because that's like the second hero choice that you can make, critical hero choice you can make. But either way, John dies. I'm not sure if that's going to affect the second game based off how you let John die, either activating the ray sphere or destroying it. I played hero in both, and John is the villain in Infamous 2. Spoiler warning if you don't already know that, even though the game's like over 10 years old. But yeah, John turned evil. So if you chose to activate the ray sphere like I did, John dies, and I think John's going to die hitting you. So I'm hoping in Infamous 2 there's like some kind of line about that. I might do Infamous 2 just to see. But yeah, I activated the ray sphere. I now have black lightning, and Kessler's proud of my choice. I think Kessler would have been disappointed in your choice if you chose hero. I don't remember, but I know he praises you for activating the ray sphere. He's like, good job. It's time for you to face me. Now you'll be the most powerful you need to be when you face off against the beast, who is his arch enemy. Now, we're going to learn about that in a second, because before that, we have to battle Kessler. So let me check my notes, make sure I don't miss anything before we start. Oh, he tells us, so he gives us this cryptic message saying that, like, Cole remembers hearing Kessler's voice when the bomb went off. And we ask Kessler, like, have you always been behind us? And he's like, I've been with you every step of your life. And I wrote in my notes, okay, Sosuke Aizen, because if you know Aizen, he told us, I've been watching you since the day you were born. Which, everything but the rain, we know is true. Though that quote made me think back to that. And, yeah, and then in the middle of our, so Zeke shows up in the middle of our fight, tries to help us. And I think Kessler took him down. I don't remember if Kessler takes him out in hero playthrough, but Kessler took Zeke down easily in the villain playthrough when he showed up in the middle of our battle. But let's talk about that. So in this battle, the polarity wall can back Kessler's lightning beam. He has like several attacks he'll repeat. He can summon 3 drones at once, which they easily take out 2. I think they went down, maybe because I was so powerful at that point, but I easily took them down like 1 or 2 hits of the lightning bolt. He can summon like lightning titans, which they don't have a physical body. You can just shoot through them and they'll die. He also moves really fast, like at the speed of light, which I thought was interesting. And then he'll like try to do this, like if he's too close, he'll like ground slap you, or he'll also like create a tremor in the ground, and like you just jump over that. But the polarity wall can block his lightning streams. Let me see what else I have on my notes for that battle. Yeah, Zeke made an appearance, but he got knocked out. Oh yeah, after he does like 4 electric beams, he goes down for like a second. It's like a freebie to attack him and give him everything you got. And then in the third phase is when the drones came out. And then I think that's it. Oh, yeah. Also, Sasha's voice randomly enters the battle. I'm assuming that's if, like, you were just doing evil playthrough. But it's more annoying than it is, like, harmful. It doesn't really do anything to you. But post that battle, we get the final major revelation. When this guy, after taking Kessler down, he says, "I love you, Trish." And then it's all revealed.
I looked down at Kessler, reveling in my victory. And then I heard him whisper, "Trish, I love you. Please forgive me." Then he was on me, fingers digging into my face. As Kessler's secrets played out in my head, I finally began to understand. I saw his nemesis, a beast intent on extinguishing all life. In those early days, Kessler could have used his powers to stop it, but instead he fled with his family, leaving others to fend for themselves. Hunted for years, Kessler and his family watched as the rest of the world went to hell. And then it was too late. Too late to fight. Too late to save anyone. In that moment of failure and grief, he used his newest and most dangerous power. He went on a one-way trip back in time, attempting to rewrite history. Kessler seized control of the First Sons and accelerated the Ray Sphere's development. Decades spent plotting the blast, organizing the quarantine, finding me. Yet the thing that drove him forward, Kessler's sole link to the past, was a picture from his wedding day, when he married Trish, with Zeke as his best man. My brain lurched, unable to accept that Kessler and I were the same person. That he'd come back in time to mold me into the savior he failed to be, going so far as to kill the woman he loved, I loved, so that I wouldn't be tied down by emotions. No, Kessler wanted me strong, ruthless, so that when I faced the beast, I'd be capable of making impossible decisions, all for the common good. And then Kessler fell back, dead. His final message, my final message, burned into my brain. I take one last look down at myself, my future self, and turn away, the rage curdling inside. I hate everything about Kessler, but when the time comes, I will be ready.
So, either in a parallel timeline or a future that never happened, or something, it has to be like a parallel timeline. But basically, Kessler is from a different future, or the future, where Trish is alive, Zeke is still Cole's best friend, and him and Trish got married, and Zeke was their best man. But the Beast, which is, spoiler warning, it's John, who we believe got killed by the Ray Spear, or disappeared with the Ray Spear. He's come back hunting Cole. So Cole, in that future, in that timeline, Cole could have fought the Beast and maybe taken him down, but he chose to run and flee with his family. I think he had like kids and his wife Trish and maybe Zeke, and they all ran for their lives. And he just kept running while the Beast was destroying the entire world. The Beast was unstoppable, and eventually the Beast caught up to Cole, or Kessler. We'll refer to that version of Cole as Kessler. He caught up to Kessler, killed Cole's family, killed Zeke, killed his kids, killed Trish, and left Cole alive. And so Cole unlocked his ultimate power to travel back in time, which is not in Infamous 2. Cole does not travel back in time. It might have been in Infamous 3. That would have been cool if Cole had time travel. I don't know how they would have implemented that, but that would have been cool. But Cole traveled back in time. He basically infiltrated the First Sons. This is where he kicks out Alden, and he basically accelerates the creation of the Ray Spear. And I was getting season 1 Flash vibes of like the Reverse Flash going back in time to accelerate the particle accelerator to give Barry whatever. I don't know. That's the CW version. I don't know if that's what happened in the comic books. I ain't no Flash. I love the Reverse Flash, but I don't know about no Flash comics. But anyways. So, Kessler went back in time to create the Ray Spear to give Cole powers or give himself or his alternate self powers so he could be strong enough to fight the Beast in the future, because the Beast is coming regardless. The Beast probably exists in every timeline. And so Kessler trained him for that moment, and he killed Trish just to make sure he'd have... Now, it might be different in the hero's ending, because I only ever played it as hero, so I can't see him saying, I killed Trish to make you stronger so you can have emotional ties. But it could have been the same. I'll look at both videos and see if, there was a difference. But, he said he did it so we wouldn't have no tie down, so we wouldn't feel held back or anything like that. And Cole was like, all right, bring it on. I have all this power. I have black lightning, which, if Infamous opens up black lightning, that'd be dope. But, yeah. So that's how it ends. And overall, my thoughts on this game are, Sony, give me the remaster. This was so fun to relive and replay, especially doing it as Evil Karma. Oh my God. If I can play Infamous 2 again without having to stream it, without having to struggle to do all that, that would be amazing, because this was so fun, especially for Evil playthrough. I hope one day we do get Infamous 3. I know people chose Hero, but just let me see what it would have been like. Forewarn everybody, hey, Infamous 3 will be Evil Karma because Cole's alive. I want to see what Infamous 3 would be. I think it would have been fun. I really wish he would have did it. But overall, that's all my thoughts on the game. That's the story, the gameplay, all that. I think it's still worth playing. If you have PSN, it's free to play. Just have really strong Wi-Fi, because like I said, if you have bad signal, the game glitches and things like that, it's really annoying to try to play through. But overall, the game is fucking amazing. I loved it. 10 out of fucking 10. Sony remastered this game. I have some other videos coming up. I'm probably going to take a break, though, just because I've been pushing myself a lot to do these. I have New York Comic Con this week, or upcoming week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you've played Infamous, tell me what you thought about it. Tell me, did you have a lot of fun with it? I definitely did. That's all for this video. We'll go to the sponsor part, then I'll wrap it up. See you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for checking out another one of my videos. This is the sponsored part of the video where I talk about the 2 new books I have coming out for this year. For the month of October, which we're calling Spooktober, I have 2 new books. Love Be Liberated and Alucard. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shinry. I'm the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and the Monsterverse. The Chronicles of Wayne is finally ending this year with Love Be Damned as the first book, Love Be Caged as the sequel, and Love Be Liberated as the trilogy. Now, I don't want to spoil this book too much, especially if you haven't read the Love Be Damned series. But basically, Wayne is a nerdy kid at school. He falls in love with the hottest guy at school because, of course, he does. And the guy turns out to be a werewolf. Wayne gets bitten. He becomes the first ever wolfman in the last decade, and some craziness ensues. Vampires, white witches, dark warlocks, and I can't spoil it because that's the reveal of the last book, the Love Be Liberated. But I can tell you, if you have enjoyed the Love Be Damned series, you are going to love Love Be Liberated. Sorry. It is the best ending I think I could have gave it. All the characters are given justice. And the way it ends is, it's kind of like a kiss to my fans that love the Love Be Damned series. Now, Alucard is the first book in the Monsterverse. It does take place in the Love Be Damned universe. However, Alucard will take place it starts out 300 years before the events of Love Be Damned take place. And then when we do get to present day, it's 10 years before Love Be Damned actually starts. So you'll get introduced to Alucard, and then after that we have Jevudan, which is the Beast of Jevudan. If you don't know what that is, that's the first ever Wolfman, or first ever confirmed Wolfman. After that we have Imhotep, and then it will end with Monster, which is Frankenstein. And Imhotep being the Mummy. Again, these are my first 2 new books coming out this year in the month of October, or Spooktober, and I'll be sponsoring them in all of my YouTube videos for October. So I hope you guys check them out. I'll make sure to have some copies when I actually release them. But I hope you guys look forward to it. The Love Be Damned verse is for the mature audience. It's not for young adults. I do mention that there are language, there's sexual scenes, there's a lot of violence. Unlike the Shinry series, which is more my kid-friendly, teen-friendly anime action adventure, you want to check that out if you're a kid. But again, this is the Love Be Damned verse, as well as now the Monsterverse. And I hope you guys check it out. Let me know what you think. Again, look out for it. Once the books actually drop in October, I'll be having a bigger releasing video for that. This is just a little teaser for that. Hope you guys check it out. Thanks.
Because of me, Empire City is a wasteland. I've taken this place down notch by notch, and it's never getting up again. Kessler thought he was preparing me to face some beast, that I'd be using my powers for the greater good. What an idiot. These powers are only good for one thing, letting me take what I want when I want. In a place with no law, the strong take what they want, and the weak are their slaves.